you ready to kickstart your week with some dirt slinging and tire slaying action motorsports radio that packs the biggest guests?
Hi, Ken Block here.
Hey, my name's Jolene Van Butte.
What's up, Brian Deegan?
Vaughn Ginn Jr. here.
They've been thrown into one show that has broken down the barriers of what a motorsports radio show should be. This is the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor, with support from General Tire, KMC Wheels, Rigid Industries, Dirtfish, Gibson Exhaust, and MTX Audio, with your host, who also happens to spend his weekends flying 800 horsepower trucks through the dirt, Jim Beaver.
When was the last time you saw an off-road or rally driver begging to get behind the wheel of a NASCAR IndyCar? Yep, not happening, but you sure see these pavement racers begging to drive our cars.
And his partner in crime every week, a self-proclaimed Canadian moto chick who was jumping triples and taking podiums before most guys even learned to ride. Amy Hood.
No one knows how to say my last name. Like, is it really that hard? Amy Hood, like I'm from the hood. Don't get it twisted.
Sit back, strap in, and be prepared to join us as we take you through a motorsports ride like no other. Here is the man who carries a steering wheel in one hand and a mic in the other, Jim Beaver.
Good morning and welcome to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Back here in the house, Parker, Arizona, holding it down in the studio. Man, talk about a whirlwind weekend for me. We are going to get to that, racing some Terracross up there in Minnesota, the great state of Minnesota. Heydays, talk about a crazy festival in Heydays. 50,000 people showing up. Power sports enthusiasts, snowmobiles, UTVs, ATVs, you name it, it was there. It was going down. I myself raced some Terracross, and as you know, anytime I race Terracross, it's a success if the thing doesn't end up on its lid, and that was the case this weekend. I did not roll it. So all you naysayers out there that were waiting for me to wad the thing up, it didn't happen this weekend. Sorry you don't get to make your memes about me and everything else that you guys like to do, but it was definitely a fun weekend up there, getting the hang of this Terracross thing. We'll definitely get to talk about that more in the show. Man, that's a series that's just growing leaps and bounds. It's just nutty how big that series is blown up, and just the people around and involved, and we'll definitely get to talking more about that. But super impressive what Terracross has put together. But to guest today. Man, fun guest list. First 30 minutes today, we're changing it up. You're going to hear me talk. But kicking off the second half of hour number one, our boys Jason and Jeremy Merrill with the Rockstar UTV Wolfpack. They'll be calling in, and we're going to talk about this little Mad Max project they've been working on, and I say little and definitely sarcasm there. Huge project they've been working on with Mad Max, tying in with a movie, the video game, a razor build, things off the hook. I posted some pictures on social media last week. I'm sure you saw them all over the place. I was actually saw some cans of Rockstar with this UTV on it when I was there at Heydays. A lot of Rockstar athletes involved in that series. So, you know, it's uber big project, and it's been a while since we got caught up with Jason and Jeremy. So we're going to be stoked to have both of them calling into the show and talk about that project and some UTV racing. And then kicking off hour number two, going to get a full hour of Amy Hood and myself. We got Ronnie Faisst. A lot of you know him, FMX Metal Militia. But Ronnie also doing battle in Terracross as well as Lucas Oil Short Course. We were able to catch up with him at Terracross and sit down for an interview with Mr. Ronnie Faisst. So, you know, X Games star, was, you know, always fun to catch up with him and see what he's doing nowadays. So Ronnie Faisst, you know, we got him in hour number two. And then Paul Thacker. A lot of you sled heads know Paul Thacker, absolute legend on a snowmobile. And, you know, now he's into the broadcast world, but he was up at Terracross. He's kind of one of the voices of that series. It's going to be great to catch up with Paul. He'll be calling in and chatting with Amy and myself, talking some Heydays, some Terracross, and some of the other projects he's got going on. And always fun to catch up with Paul Thacker. So stacked show today, slammed. It's definitely going to be fun. Man, it was a whirlwind weekend for me. Back home right around midnight last night. You know, flights in Friday to Heydays, flights out Sunday after the events. You know, it seems like my life is living in an airport nowadays. But, I've definitely been blessed with some great opportunities, and, racing Terracross is definitely one of them. Got some amazing sponsors in that machine, Rigid Industries, Pro Armor, Dirtfish Rally School, it's definitely been a learning experience for me. I know, had a TV interview, we were doing when we were up there in Minnesota, and they were asking me, how is this? And I've had a lot of people ask, why would you want to go and run a razor? Why? It's something new, and you're probably not going to win right away, and that's precisely why I do it. I like to step out of the box. First time I drove a rally car was horrible, and I haven't actually raced one of those yet, but I've spent a ton of seat time in rally cars, doing some testing up there at Dirtfish. And it seems like I get faster and faster. I like the challenge, It's me. If somebody offered me to race a snowmobile, I'd go and do that and try and figure it out, It doesn't matter to me if I'm slow to start with. It's all about the adventure and the learning process of it, And I looked at Terracross the same way, I'm going to be in that series for 2 years, and year 1, let's learn. Year 2, let's go for podiums, and that's kind of what we're doing. And, I got to tell you, backing trophy trucks into corners and 800 horsepower to bail you out and slide you around, these razors are definitely not the same, man. They get rutted, and you think about sliding one of these things, you're up on your lid. And any of you tuned into CBS Sports, watch Terracross on TV, precisely that is what happens more often than not. So Heydays, yeah, those of you not familiar with Heydays, this is huge. It's the kickoff to snowmobile season, they say, right? Well, it's a huge snowmobile event. All the manufacturers bring in their new sleds. There's vendors. There's a huge swap meet with every used part you could ever imagine. This is acres and acres. There was parts of this venue I didn't even attempt to get to. They say it's, very much similar to like Jurassic Park at Crandon, on steroids almost. I think Danny Medine, who was up there and I was able to spend some time with, we were playing Hammerschlagen, I think, where you, hit the nails into the log and stuff like that. But good fun. But Danny was saying, she's like, this has been around long before Crandon. She's like, she's like Jurassic Park got its name from Heydays, or the idea. So, I don't know which one came first in actuality. I'm just saying very much the same. This place is just, if you're a power sports enthusiast, put it on the calendar, go up there. It's 2 days of a ton of fun. That's the easiest way to put it. The venue isn't even open on Friday, and it's already nutty on Friday. So looking forward to going back again next year. I'm sure Terracross is going to be there again. Crazy track they had laid out. San Diego, huge, big gap jumps and just madness in San Diego. I had trouble with it. A lot of drivers had trouble with it. Some of the drivers after San Diego, if you look at the driver entry list for Heydays, a lot of the guys just quit. They're like, nah, this isn't for me, man. I'm over it. And after it ended up on my lid a couple times, I can tell you, there was parts of me that thought the same thing, but, I'm not one to quit. So we show up there at Heydays and, figured it out. But this track very much different, but just nutty with the elevation. Literally there was, I call it a bonsai from my BMX days, but there's this, literally they built this, it looked like a deep end of an Olympic swimming pool for diving. The thing had to have been 25 feet deep, a hole in the ground, and you drive down into the hole, and then there's a vert lip. It literally looked like a vert lip off of a vert ramp. And, you hit this vert ramp and there's these tires and you sky out of there, literally sky out of there. Just nutty. You go around and there's this huge gap jump. And, it's an over-under, and you go up, you can't even see the landing, complete blind landing. I'd say it's about 8 feet tall. The landing's probably about 6 feet tall. And you can't see the landing, and you could probably park 2 cars, maybe 3 cars in between. I don't know, I don't know how big the gap is, but just nutty. And, you go over this huge gap jump, and then you're immediately on the binders. They're split lanes, and then there's this, they've got the landing for the FMX, right? And you know how big these landings are for FMX, a big dirt landing. They got the big kickers out there. Well, they ended up building like a step up for us onto the landing of the of the FMX the FMX landing, and it was just, just crazy. Dana Creech and Hubert from Nitro Circus fame, and everybody at Terracross, man, they're pulling rabbits out of their hats at some of these venues. Creativity is definitely in full force. And they have these two huge sand dune piles. They look like a spine ramp almost. For those of you that ride BMX or skateboard, I mean, they look like a spine ramp you'd see at a skate park. And, we had to go up and over those in the Razor. And, if I don't know how many of us got high centered. I mean, just figuring out how to hit these things because, I would say there was so many of us that got stuck on the top trying to figure out, the first couple times through how to actually hit them. And, you got to kind of blip the throttle at the top and get it over. But if you go over too much, you end up lawn darting. And I think we saw Colton Moore do that. It's just, it's nutty, man. Terracross. It's a lot about the racing, but as we've learned, it's definitely a lot about the survival as well. And, just surviving these events, is a chore. And not to mention we're racing stock Polaris Razors. So, with stock Polaris Razors, these things don't have all the huge beefed up aftermarket axles and stuff like that. I mean, some of us got radius rods on ours, and obviously bumpers are some safety upgrades of the cage and 5-point harnesses and stuff. But by and large, I mean, these are stock Polaris Razors, and, it's just getting them to drive fast, but, make sure they hold together. I mean, there's so much, it's such a balancing act to be successful. Not to mention they're all the same speed. Everybody's got the exact same car, so it's very entertaining. I can tell you, Heydays, you guys are going to love to see the airing, on CBS Sports. I believe it's going to be October 1st and 8th, maybe. But I'll definitely post those up to social media and on the Down and Dirty Radio Show website. But Heydays getting, I guess, to day one. RJ Anderson ended up walking away with a win. But Jason Luberg hot on his heels, but that doesn't tell the full story. I mean, everybody goes, RJ won. RJ was out of it. I mean, he had a podium spot. He was in third. No chance at a win. Absolutely no chance at a win. Mitch Guthrie literally running away with it. And Mitch ended up having problems. And Mitch, I mean, it was in the bag. Mitch phoning it in, and he ended up having problems. And poor Mitch. Him and his dad have become good friends of mine. I saw him, I was talking with him, and I said, I felt so bad. Literally, Mitch and Dana Creech, the fastest guys all weekend long out there at Terracross, and Mitch, just bad luck. This kid, same thing in San Diego, man. He just can't catch a break. But so after Mitch goes down, Dana Creech inherits the lead, right? And Dana, he's a track builder. I mean, this guy is one of the fastest guys I've ever seen in a Razor. And, here goes Dana, and he's leading, and then he gets a hole in the radiator. And so by default, RJ, who was in third in a podium spot but literally had no shot at a win, inherits the lead, and then he starts driving clean, you know what I mean, just to, hey, I got the lead. Well, then Luberg comes up, and they've got a battle, and Luberg, last year's champ, I mean, it was entertaining, and 12 laps, and I don't know, man, it was pretty chaotic. So RJ Anderson ended up winning the day one final, Luberg in second, Mickey Thomas in third, Mike Johnson fourth, Levi LaValle fifth, Cody Raiders in sixth, and Cody pulling some double duty. I got to give him a shout out. My good friend Jolene Van Vute, she was out there and she running in the ladies division and had a solid effort there. But Cody Raiders, her co-driving, and she's definitely got a solid guy in Cody Raiders, driving with her. And then, looking at the women's ranks, Sarah Price, she ended up winning again, made it 3 for 3 this year in Terracross. Just solid effort by her. She's just on point. Shelby Anderson, ridiculously fast as well, right in there with a podium spot. And then, got to give a shout out to my partner in crime. We'll talk more about that later on, Amy Hood. First time ever in a Razor, really, other than half a day at Levi LaValle's house, and she was figuring it out. Give her a little more seat time, and she'll be dialed in for sure. Lucky to have Ronnie Faisst, one of our guests today. He ended up wanting to jump in the Down and Dirty Radio Show Razor that Amy and I are driving, and ended up jumping in there and co-dogging with Amy, and solid to have a veteran in the Razor there. So but Sarah Price ended up winning, and super solid effort by her. She's just getting so good in UTV racing. And then day number 2, men's final. Dana Creech, this one was wire to wire. He wasn't letting up. It wasn't going to be a repeat of day number 1. Day number 2, he literally got out front and he phoned it in. At the end, it was funny. It shows he won by 3.7 seconds. He was so far ahead of Jason Luberg in second, and we'll get to the battle Luberg and Anderson had, but Creech was so far ahead. He literally started idling around on the last lap, and he was doing parade waves out the window. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. And Dana, he's quite the showman. He's become a good friend of mine, and the guy, I just love him to death. But he literally is so far ahead. He's doing parade waves along, the whole last lap. Is absolutely comedy. There got to one point he was so far ahead. He was in lap traffic, and he was playing with a lap traffic guy that was ahead of him. And he literally, he almost stops, and there's a course worker there, and he starts pointing at the course worker and pointing at the lap traffic and yelling at the course worker to get the guy out of the way. And I'm like, who's leading a race? Pulls over and starts instructing course workers what to do. I mean, Dana Creech had that kind of a race where he's so far ahead that he's just, it was just shenanigans. You have to watch this day number 2 final on TV. I mean, Creech, it was just, I don't know. He probably would have won by 30 or 40 seconds, if he wasn't doing all the showman. But it ended up being, 4 seconds he ended up winning by. Luberg in second, last year's champ. He's putting together a solid campaign this year with podiums. And RJ in third. RJ, solid effort there as well. Cody Rader sneaking into that 4th spot. He had a great battle, but Luberg and Anderson, they were just battling back and forth all day long, and it was a great day 2 battle with them. And Levi LaValle, he was a last chance qualifier, started back there I think like the 14th spot, and he snuck his way all the way into the 5th spot. So just an amazing effort by Levi LaValle. He's getting so ridiculously fast in these razors. It's quite impressive. Seeing what he's able to string together, and he's really gelling with these things, and it's just a solid effort by him. I was very much impressed with how fast Levi LaValle's getting in these razors, and and that being said, I had the opportunity to see him up at Dirtfish Rally School. And, he was so fast in rally cars. Seems like he just adapts well to anything he drives. And then in the ladies division, Sarah Price, once again taking the win. Perfect season going on so far. Undefeated Sarah Price. She's just girl is on point, man. She is the one to catch. But I got to give a big shout-out to my good friend Jolene Van Butte. Only second race, first race weekend ever in these razors, and came out with a second place finish. So podium for Jolene Van Butte. I got to tell you, she is going to go back to work doing some training up at Pastrana Land. Look out, Charlotte, and look out 2016. The Nitro girl is definitely on point. I think she shot me a text after the thing, and we shared a rental car ride, and she just said, I am totally in love with Polaris Razor Racing and Terracross. So, there you go, man. She has got bit by the off-road bug, and, as we know, anytime Jolene gets bit by any kind of bug, look out, because, she likes to rise to the top, definitely cream of the crop at anything she does. So, solid to see, Jolene out there, and, it's just a great race weekend for Terracross, and we're definitely going to talk some more about that with Ronnie Faisst as well as Paul Thacker, Amy Hood later on in the show. Right now, we're going to skip to Dirtfish Rally Report, brought to you by our good friends at Dirtfish Rally School. Find out more information on the web, www.dirtfish.com. And those of you looking for a discount code to Dirtfish, skip over to downanddirtyshow.com, and if you're tuning in there, it's right there, just about with every show we post that coupon code, 10% off. That's my personal discount to you listeners, so definitely if you're interested in going, whether it be 2 hours, half day, or a full 3 days, even advanced classes, that discount code will cut you some slack. So definitely use it up, tell them Jim Beaver sent you, and they will get you dialed in. But Dirtfish Rally Report, couple of events going on. Big one, Red Bull GRC doubleheader, Los Angeles. Wow. Doubleheader in Los Angeles. It's LA is become one of their premier events. Obviously, so many sponsors and teams, and well, not necessarily teams, but fans based out of Los Angeles. It's just become a premier event on the calendar, and only its second year. Remember Subaru bringing in a full fleet, STI sponsoring the event as a presenting sponsor. We had Higgins, Pastrana, a full fleet of guys, Subaru contingent. Just an amazing entry list here. Deegan in action. This is one of the rounds he's doing this year. And but I got to say, all Scott Speed all weekend long. And Scott Speed taking home the win in day number 1. Tanner Faisst second, 1 and 2 for those Volkswagens. We see those struggles earlier on in the year. Out the window now. Volkswagen definitely on point. And, those guys delivering some podiums and Volkswagen in dire need of that. And then Patrick Sandell, man, he's sneaking right around there in that top 3 in points. With a third-place finish, he's just literally smacking he's smacking down these podiums. Just podium, it seems like. Patrick Sandell, solid effort by him. Sverre Isaacson, probably the best result for Subaru, in 2015 so far. 4th-place finish. Stoked to see Subaru up there fighting for a podium. Then we had Steve Arpin, Brian Deegan, Travis Pastrana making the final in only his second GRC race this year. Ran X Games. And now he's, obviously, here at Los Angeles. And then Nelson Piquet Jr. in 8th, Yoni Weeman in 9th, and Bucky Lasek in 10th. So 3 Subarus in that final. Stoked to see that. Stoked to see those Subarus, back up there, fighting for podiums. Always great to see. And then moving on to day number 2, Sunday of this doubleheader round. Scott Speed once again. You think he's down, you think he's out. He's way back in the points, and and then all of a sudden here comes Scott. Back-to-back wins, sweeps the weekend, and now he went from, I don't know where he was at in points, and with some struggles from Ken Block. Ken not making the final in day 1, and in day 2 having some struggles. Ken still with a points lead, but Scott Speed sneaking right up in there. Definitely a tough break for the Hoonigan Racing crew, but they've still got a lead. But I got to tell you, we got 3 rounds to go, doubleheader in Barbados, and the finale in Vegas. It's going to be a shootout now. It's Block, Speed once again, and Patrick Sandell, he's hanging right around in there as well. But Scott Speed with a victory. Brian Deegan delivering best ever finish for Chip Ganassi Racing in second. And you got to wonder, the general, Brian Deegan, I mean, I said going into this, if you read the GRC Power Rankings, I said, Brian Deegan, I said, what is scary about him is when he has nothing to lose, he gets even faster. And Brian has nothing to lose. He's not running for the points. It's all about podiums and victories. And we saw that. And you got to wonder, man. I know he's doing the short course stuff, but I would love to see him in this Ganassi car next year, put together a full campaign of events. I think it would just be tremendous to see Brian Deegan, racing full-time in GRC once again, just for 1 year. See if we can put it all together in this Ganassi ride. But, Scott Speed, Brian Deegan, and then Tanner Faisst, another podium for Tanner. Both Scott and Tanner, solid weekends for them, and, definitely moving themselves both back up in the points. Patrick Sandell in 4th, Steve Arpin 5th, Pastrana, another solid showing for him. And then we had Sebastian Eriksson, Yoni Weeman, Ken Block, and Nelson Piquet Jr. So Nelson, Block, Eriksson, they were all up there in the points, and it's, I don't know, just tough. Looks like we had a disqualification on Nelson Piquet, but man, it's just rough weekend for some of our points leaders. But Leone called it when we had him on air last time. Talking about what to expect, and he says Block's got this huge lead, and if anybody can run with it, it's Ken, but. You just never know with the Red Bull GRC and the way the points go in these doubleheader weekends, and lo and behold, Scott Speed comes in, sweeps the weekend, and he's right back in the points, few points back from Ken Block, who is still leading. So it's going to be a great next 3 rounds for Red Bull Global Rallycross. I got to tell you, I am pretty darn amped to watch those. Wasn't able to watch this on TV as I was racing myself, and steering wheel definitely trumps TV remote any day of the week. But it looks like another solid event out there in Los Angeles for Red Bull GRC, and we got another heck of a great points battle shaping up down the stretch of these last 3 rounds. Then looking at GRC lights, Austin Cindric taking a win in round number 2 there in LA. Miles Maroney and Oliver Erickson rounding out your podium. My Dirtfish Rally teammate Tanner Witten in 4th, and Connor Martell in the Reese Millen car in 5th. And then looking at the first Los Angeles round in the GRC lights, it was Oliver Erickson taking the win, Austin Cindric 2nd, Alex Keys, Miles Maroney, and Harry Chung. Probably one of the best finishes ever for Harry Chung. Definitely a veteran of this lights field for the past 3 years on and off. But definitely a solid showing, solid effort by him, 5th place. I don't know if I've ever seen him up that high. So, and then we had looks like Tanner Witten, my buddy from Dirtfish, having some struggles there and didn't finish round number 1. So points for GRC lights right now. Looks like Austin Cindric, I believe, is going to be right out front, but I don't know, man. It's really tight at this point with Maroney, Cindric, Erickson. I mean, it's the same thing as Supercars. It's up in the air. Don't even want to even attempt to predict or call any of that. But also happening over the weekend, we had WRC Australia World Rally Championship going down in Australia. Always one of the favorite rounds of fans down there, and Sebastian Ogier taking home the win. Latvala in 2nd, Meek, Mickelson, Haddon, Tannock, Neuville, Sordo, and Evans, and Nasser Al-Attiyah 1 through 10. Al-Attiyah sneaking into that top 10 in a WRC2 entry. So that is your top 10 overall, and means our drivers' point standings at this point in time. I mean, do we really even need to talk about that? Sebastian just dominating the field, 101-point lead over Latvala in 2nd, Mickelson in 3rd with 111 points, and then Osberg down there in 4th, and Neuville in 5th. So, just checking out Sebastian once again on the field. I mean, it's 3 rounds left. We've got France, Spain, and Rally GB. But it's at this point, I mean, it's a phone in for Sebastian. It looks like he's going to take yet another WRC title in 2015. So, that was your Dirtfish Rally Report for this week, brought to you by our good friends at Dirtfish Rally School. Find out more information on the web, www.dirtfish.com, and be sure to look out for those coupon codes at downanddirtyshow.com for 10% off at Dirtfish. And if for some reason you can't find it, definitely hit me on Twitter, hit me on Facebook, Instagram, wherever, and I will definitely get those. I'll shoot them to you. But we are going to take a short commercial break. When we come back, Jason, Jeremy, Merrill with UTV Wolfpack. They're going to be calling in. We're going to be talking some Mad Max. So stay tuned to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor.
I'm Polaris rider Levi LaValle, and I choose Polaris just because they have the best quality, highest performing, most fun machines out there.
Only one company has taken Levi LaValle to 10 X Games medals, snowcross championships, a double backflip, and a world record long jump of 412 feet across the San Diego Harbor on New Year's Eve, and that company is Polaris. Whether it's dominating the X Games, racing a stock Polaris Razor XP1000 in the Terracross Championship, or just hitting the trail on the weekend, for over 20 years, Levi has relied on the same quality Polaris vehicles and products you can purchase at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of action sports legend Levi LaValle and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Baja, check. King of the Hammers, check. Crandon, check. The Mint 400, check. Only one wheel company can say they have dominated the deserts and rocks of the Southwest to the mud and carnage of the big house at Crandon, and that company is KMC Wheels. KMC Wheels has won them all with the help of elite drivers like Travis Pastrana, Ricky Johnson, Bryce Menzies, Carl Renazetter, and Lauren Healy, who all rely on the XT Series from KMC Wheels to get them to the finish line and on top of the podium. Check out KMC Wheels and their full line of XT Series wheels at kmcwheels.com or on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KMC Wheels. KMC Wheels, like no other. Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
Rigid Industries is the original and #1 LED light bar manufacturer in the world. Torture tested by some of the best drivers in motorsports. Rigid LED lighting products use cutting-edge technology and can stand up to the harshest conditions Mother Nature can dish out. Designed, engineered, and assembled in the United States, Rigid LED lighting is the only choice for your off-road vehicle or boat. Find out more information on the entire line of Rigid Industries LED lighting products at www.rigidindustries.com.
Life is all about sound. The sound of sports. The sound at the racetrack. And the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Come to the island and rip it up this summer. Wakeboard Island. It's a skate park on water at Blue Water Resort and Casino. Check out the 2-tower cable system that pulls you and your board over the water. No boats to watch out for. No fumes. Wakeboard Island is open to all skill levels with an open center section for beginners. And for trick riders, a double side kicker in a 60-foot flat box. Wakeboard Island. The best ride this side of the Rockies. Adjacent to the River's Edge Cantina at Blue Water Resort and Casino on the Colorado River in Parker, Arizona.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'm your host, Jim Beaver. Just getting done talking some Terracross, some rally racing, Red Bull, GRC, WRC heydays, and, man, a whole lot more. It's a big 30 minutes here, and been rolling on, but coming up here in this next half hour, we got our friends at the UTV Wolfpack. They're going to be calling in, and we're going to be talking some Mad Max, some Razors, some Lucas Oil, and a whole lot more. Been looking forward to catching up with these boys. They have been very, very busy, always busy. And, you look at UTV racing, and, a lot of people say, gosh, man, I don't know, and this and that. And, and it's, where's the value? They're not as fast as this and that. And I got to tell you, man, UTV racing's blowing up. I saw it in Terracross. I've seen it in Lucas. I've seen it out in Best in the Desert. Some of the biggest classes in any series are coming from the UTV ranks. And these boys at UTV Wolfpack were definitely on the ground floor of that. and and they've built up their brand, built up their company. They've not only got the media side of things, they've got all the sponsors and the partner relationships, and now they've got their program with Rockstar, which is pretty amazing. But right now, it looks like we got the Wolfpack calling in. How's everything going, guys?
What's up, Jim?
Oh, not too much, my friend. How's everything going on your end? I got to tell you, I was up at Heydays racing Terracross, and we had Colton Moore up there, Jolene Van Vliet, Ronnie Faisst, and they all had these Rockstar cans, and your Mad Max Razor was on them, and I got to say, I was pretty stoked for you guys.
Cool, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, the Mad Max Rockstar car was a pretty good deal. That whole conversation came up actually, at a bachelor party, and one of the guys from Rockstar was telling us that they were working on this project. And he's telling us about this Mad Max car that they want to build, and the Magnus Opus, and it came up. I said, dude, I'm like, why don't we call Polaris to see if we can turn that thing into a Mad Max Polaris Razor and do like some kind of giveaway? And they went back to Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers said, yeah, well, we'd be interested in something like that, called Polaris. Polaris said, yeah, we'll give you 2 cars. So then the whole thing just, kind of snowballed from there. And then we started getting 3D renderings and started, figuring out maybe I put myself in a little too deep after we looked at some of those 3D renderings.
Yeah, well, we're joined by your brother now. We got Jason and Jeremy Merrill both on the line. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Hey, what's going on? We're also expecting a call from Rockstar. Chris Carter should be jumping on the line, and then he's trying to get Dave from InGame, which actually Dave works with all the.
All right. Well, I think Chris Carter.
People.
I think we just got joined by Chris.
Carter.
Yeah, you hear Chris?
Oh, cool.
Chris, that you?
Carter.
All right. Yeah, I think he's here. Yeah, so we got Chris.
Hello.
Yeah, Chris Carter, Jason Merrill, Jeremy Merrill, all on the line here. We're talking Rockstar. We're talking some Razor builds. How you doing, Chris? You there? Chris, you there? Huh, I don't know what's going on here. But, yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I can hear you, but I can't hear anyone else.
Oh, okay.
I can hear him.
Just little.
Yeah, weird. I don't know what's going on here. You guys can hear me, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. So, tell us how this thing. You're telling us, how this thing kind of came about. You were, you guys were building this Razor up, and you guys got at a party, got the idea, got the renderings, and it became this pretty extravagant project, huh?
Yeah, it was definitely time-consuming. Everything on the car was hand-built, so there wasn't. It's not like you can go down to the store and just buy something off the shelf. So when they originally, when we were going back and forth, Rockstar, Avalanche, coding and building, they sent over some 3D renderings, and we kind of looked at it going, well, yeah, we could build this, we could build that, but we were kind of unsure on a couple things. But after, a lot of hours, a lot of work, and a lot of miscalculations, throwing things in the trash, we ended up getting it right.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. We had Jolene Van Vliet up there at Terracross, and Jolene's telling me, she's like, I would love to buy one of those things. She's like, this thing is so freaking awesome. So, I think you guys actually may have created a little market for yourselves there, man. Those things are pretty off the hook.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Who wouldn't want to?
Yeah, exactly. Right. Who wouldn't want one?
Yeah, it's crazy. The final car ended up, obviously when you have a digital rendering from somebody's computer that they try to build in the real world, you're kind of always, wondering if that's how it's going to look when it's done. And it's funny because we came back from Glamis and the pictures were so close that the vehicle that we built almost looks like it's not even real,
Yeah.
And I think that the car came out exceptional. Carter's on the line, and you had asked earlier a little bit about how kind of everything came together to make this thing happen. And it's a nationwide promotion that actually, people can actually win this vehicle by going to any type of convenience store that carries Rockstar, and the actual vehicle is on a Rockstar can. So you can enter to win that way, where you just buy a Rockstar and pop the top, and there's a code on it. You go to Rockstar Energy /Mad Max and do that. And then there's also an in-game challenge. Why don't you kind of dive in a little bit, Carter?
There's 2 cars to win.
Yeah. So you're giving away 2 of them. You there, Chris?
Yeah. Sorry, we're having some technical difficulties there. Hey, guys.
Yeah. So we're talking about how this whole thing got put together, and now obviously these cars are out there. The social media's out there. I know I was up there racing some Terracross with Colton and Jolene and Ronnie, and they all had Rockstar cans and they had the cars on them. I mean, it's got to be a great promotion, cross promotion with a bunch of partners for Rockstar.
Yeah, no, it's incredible. We're really excited about it. It's kind of the whole motorsports meets gaming experiment. It's going very, very well. Really excited about it. The guys at the Wolfpack have done an incredible job really building out a replica for us, and we're excited about it. I've also got Dave Smith, who's the president and CEO of Engage, and they're our gaming agency, and they were the ones that actually came to us with the concept of doing some in-game branding within this new game, Mad Max. And, that's kind of where the whole idea started, and then just kept growing and growing and growing. And I've actually got him on the call here as well. I was going to let him kind of walk you through the contest and exactly how people can go about entering to win, either from the in-game side of it or just from our national suites, which Jeremy was just discussing there with the on-can promotion.
All right, awesome.
So Dave, take it away.
Cool. Hey, man. Well, nice to virtually be meeting you and talking with you.
Yeah, for sure.
Where are you based out of?
Based out of Arizona, but this is syndicated all over the country. So, I've known Jason and Jeremy for quite some time, and we're both teammates with Polaris RZR and do a little bit of racing here and there. So stoked to be a part of this project and help promote it, man. I they told me about it a few months back, and I was immediately like, yeah, this sounds awesome, man. Let's get you guys on when you're ready to roll, and let's talk about it. So not only in stores, but in game also people can play, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's very rare where you actually see kind of off-road vehicles or even UTVs kind of go from virtual to reality. And then you could also look at kind of reversing that polarity of reality to virtual. So if you pick up a copy of Mad Max, if you're on PlayStation 4 or Xbox One, you're able to download the Thirst Cutter vehicle for free. And then started on the 8th, and it's running until the 28th of this month. You go to a designated area called Summit of the Mighty inside the game, and you're able to drop down hopefully your fastest time. Guys are just crushing it right now. We got a top 50 on both platforms, and at the end of this, the top 3 are going to get flown to the live finals at Knotfest in San Bernardino, go head-to-head again for a chance to win the actual Thirst Cutter. And when they're there, man, they're going to be staring at it. I mean, I don't know if you've seen this thing yet, but it's just incredible. I mean, it looks like just what's in the game, and I think that's what was great about Wolfpack is, I mean, these guys took all these renders and concept drawings. We spent a lot of time scrutinizing over, making sure that all these parts and fabrication tactics actually looked like it was in the game. So I think just guys are rallying around the chance to actually, own this thing. But more so, they're actually getting a chance to kick the virtual tires, so to speak. So, yeah, we're like Carter said, we're definitely off to a great start.
Yeah, there's not too many times.
And then there's also –
what's that? Go ahead.
There's also there's also the 2-part video series. And it's, they go to the Rockstar YouTube channel. They can watch how the car was built, and they can learn more details on how they can win the vehicles. And another thing, too, that's pretty cool is we're building a console. So at the actual, live sweepstakes where they're going to be there playing it, if they're going to be like in a Mad Max Polaris frame with like a video game console that's like a one-off build that they're going to be sitting and able to play, which is pretty exciting. We're getting ready to start building that out.
Nice. It'd be like a full immersive experience, huh?
Yeah, exactly. You're right on point with that.
Nice. Well, what I think's cool about this is, I mean, to be honest with you, I can't think of you know, a lot of people see stuff in the movies or in video games, these vehicles, and everybody's like, oh, man, I want to see it. Most of the time they're digitally done and stuff like that. I mean, you know, the only thing I can compare it to is maybe like, you know, the Batmobile that you've seen a few of them actually, you know, actually built out where you could actually see them at a trade show or something. I mean, this doesn't happen very often, so props to you guys for being able to put all this together.
No, you're absolutely right. I think you're talking about the tumbler.
Yeah.
And if anyone's seen the tumbler, that's a high cost ticket item, and also something, I mean, is a little bit less, you know, realistic. Where I think here with this UTV, first and foremost, and working closely with Polaris on the build out, it's fully functional. It's not a prop. You know, this thing is, I mean, you saw the video out in Klamath. I mean, these guys were ripping it up. And this thing's designed to do what the Razor does best. So I think that's what's exciting, too, is that not only does it look like within the game, but it performs how it should in the real world. And I think that's a rarity, too.
Yeah, you know, it's 100% fully functional. It's not just a shell that looks good. And, you know, and I know, like I was telling these guys, I said before you jumped on, I said, I think they've on to something. I know this is a limited edition, only building 2, but I said, you know, talking with enough people that have seen the drawings, I mean, I think, you know, people would actually buy these, you know, if, you know, depending on what the price tag was, you know, because they're so awesome looking.
Well, thanks.
No, absolutely.
It's funny you say that.
Shelby.
What's that?
Oh, go ahead, Ben.
No, I was going to say it's funny he was saying that because, you know, there was somebody that mentioned to me when they saw the vehicle, they're like, oh, I know somebody, and all this guy does for a living is he builds Batmobile replicas for people to just put in their garage. So they can be like, oh, I have a Batmobile. And I'm like, really? And I think that it's funny because you really don't open your mind to how big this is until you actually go it. And it was cool because David Carter had invited us down to E3, and Jason and I, you know, we know video games a little bit, but going down there and actually being inside the Warner booth and seeing how big that industry is was just absolutely mind-blowing. It was like going to SEMA, but for video games, and these booths that they have, and the whole gaming industry is just, it's bigger than, you know, bigger than life, and it's their own world over there, and these guys are really into it. And Dave, why don't you tell them a little bit about that Twitch that they got going and explain kind of what that is, because that's definitely actually, really, really cool.
That's a cool point. Yeah, so when we actually are running the live finals, it's going to be broadcast live on Twitch. Twitch is kind of the new phenomenon that's been growing where gamers are actually able to self-broadcast. So you think kind of like what GoPro, you know, did to the extreme sports industry. Well, Twitch has kind of done the same thing, except empowered gamers in their living room to look like pros across the globe. So, you know, right now I'm in my Snuggie, I'm crushing a little Mad Max, and I'm out here pushing out to the world, you know, driving this earth cutter and putting up my time. You see a picture-in-picture of me, you see what I'm doing on screen, and so they've actually now taken this, it's one of the most professional broadcast platforms for esports. And so we're going to actually have 2 pro shoutcasters at the event. They're going to be commenting on the play, the strategy, driving this thing along. So it's going to feel like very much like a competitive, you know, esports event. And the wild thing about Twitch is they have over 100 million monthly active viewers. So when you just look at the sheer population of gaming, at the consumer level, it's just fully taken adoption of it. So this is the channel of like what we call the now generation or millennials. If you're into gaming now, you know, these guys were talking about earlier, we've combined this with Faisst, which is like a super cool rock music festival. We got Polaris, who's part of it, Wolfpack, Warner Brothers games. I mean, it's this culmination of this content that's just going to be going out to the world. So we're definitely excited about that aspect too.
Yeah, well, and just to me, to be honest with you, it's so funny that, you know, that all these different you know, aspects are converging, because for the longest time, you know, it was just yeah, we're getting some background feedback from somebody. But it seemed like for the longest time, it was just, it was just movies, and now you've got, movies and video games. They go hand in hand together, and to me, it's crazy that video games have grown that much to be, that type of media platform where it, not only can stand on its own for profitability, but you're getting this convergence like Mad Max, where the DVD releases coincide with the video game, and it's just pretty remarkable how this, how these industries have almost grown together.
Yeah, no, for sure. Well, even you look at YouTube right now, their number one channel is music, second is gaming.
Yeah.
So it just goes to show you the content that people are looking for. And I think that's what's interesting about these webisodes that we created. Again, they kind of were born out of the project. But I said if you look at them, episode 1 and episode 2, I think Rockstar and the Merrills, they did a good job of like our version of a West Coast Customs or an OTC. Obviously, fortunately, these guys get along too well, so there's not too much drama. but it was more down and dirty about the bill. But don't worry, we'll look for the dirt at some point. Stay tuned for the next project. We'll get them to come out of their stuff.
Nice. Well, Jason, Jeremy, I mean, tell us, is there any place, people are going to be able to see these before the giveaway? And, how long do they have to get in on this contest? I mean, give us the details.
Yeah, the actual vehicle, if somebody wants to see it, this coming weekend, Friday and Saturday in Las Vegas at the Lucas Oil Off-Road Racing Series, it'll be on display there. And they're going to have like a whole setup around that. And then we don't know for sure, but we're trying to get it at the Sand Sports Show on Sunday. Logistically, getting it from Vegas to the Sand Sports Show for one day, maybe a little bit tough, but we're going to try to do it because we know that everybody in the sand sports industry, would love to see this thing, and they would just go nuts.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. And so when is the date of the actual finals in the giveaway? You guys there?
Yeah. Dave, you want to answer that?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't hear that last question.
Oh, I said when are we giving this thing away? When is the finals and in the actual giveaway? What are the details on that for people who want to get involved and try and take this thing home?
Yeah. So all the details are at rocksenergy.com/MadMax. Rockstar is going to be giving this thing away on October 25th at Knotfest. That's going to be broadcast live from 5 p.m. Pacific Standard to 6 p.m. Pacific Standard. And that person that puts up that time, we're going to pull them up on the main stage in front of 30,000 rock fans and millions, broadcasts around the world and see who wins this thing. So it's going to be really exciting for sure.
Nice. Well, I got to tell you, man, that you guys, I think all in all, between, the gaming side, the Rockstar side, the Wolfpack side, the Razor side, you guys hit a home run with this project. I was stoked to kind of see it come to fruition. I know I've kind of known about it a little while, and, to see it mature, it's been pretty amazing. And actually, I'm looking forward to seeing this thing in the flesh, hopefully, before it gets given away.
Yeah, maybe if we see your driver's license, we might even let you take it for a spin.
Oh, man, I would love that. All kinds of fun. But appreciate you guys taking the time to call in. We'll definitely share the info on the contest on social media and stuff like that. Give it a few plugs on the show. But, nice job, guys. And as always welcome on air. And, we'll talk with you soon.
Thank you for having us on. See you time.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Have a good one. Bye.
All right, bye. All right, that was Jason and Jeremy Merrill with the UTV Wolfpack, Rockstar Energy, people behind the Mad Max game, and, giving away some Polaris Razors. I know you saw them, the Mad Max Polaris Razors. It's the Rockstar Mad Max Polaris Razors by the UTV Wolfpack. Such a conglomeration and a mashup to make this happen. The pictures are insane. Anybody who's seen the pictures wants one. These things are just over-the-top fun. And I could only imagine driving one myself. I love Razors, but that just they're wild. Definitely go check out Rockstar Energy's website. Get all the details on this giveaway. I know our boys at the UTV Wolfpack been sharing all kinds of stuff. I have too. Get in on it. The good thing is this isn't just some concept. They have 2 of these, and you can win them by either drinking Rockstar Energy or by playing the game. I mean, this is pretty amazing. They're giving 2 of these away. It's all up for grabs. Get in on it. It's the best thing I can tell you to do. You buy a newer can of Rockstar Energy, and they're all over that as well. But big shout out to my boys Jason and Jeremy for putting this all together. And man, it's just I've known about it for probably 6 months now, and we've chatted on it, and it's just been a tremendous project. These guys have been doing and growing, and stoked to finally see it come together. And it's big. Absolutely huge, and these guys at UTV Wolfpack, they do a tremendous job of marketing their partners, and that's about all there is to it, man. These guys they kill it out on the course in Lucas Oil Short Course. They kill it in the shop. They kill it with their media, and just help grow UTV racing in general. I mean, just good people and all kinds of fun, and definitely give them a follow on social media. And we will definitely get up all the info on this contest after we get off air. So, man, kind of winding down the show here, or the first half of the show. I don't want to say winding down the show, man. We got a lot more to come. Ronnie Faisst, Paul Thacker, Amy Hood, lots more to come here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show powered by Polaris Razor. We're going to take a short commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to have an interview with Ronnie Faisst that Amy Hood and I did up there in Minnesota at Heydays. That's coming after the break, so stay tuned here at the Down and Dirty Radio Show powered by Polaris Razor as we kick off hour number 2.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When RJ Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning Razor XP1000. RJ is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris Razors to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris Razors RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris Razor vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Baja, check. King of the Hammers, check. Crandon, check. The Mint 400, check. Only one wheel company can say they have dominated the deserts and rocks of the Southwest to the mud and carnage of the big house at Crandon, and that company is KMC Wheels. KMC Wheels has won them all with the help of elite drivers like Travis Pastrana, Ricky Johnson, Bryce Menzies, Carl Renazetter, and Lauren Healy, who all rely on the XT Series from KMC Wheels to get them to the finish line and on top of the podium. Check out KMC Wheels and their full line of XT Series wheels at KMCWheels.com or on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KMC Wheels. KMC Wheels, like no other. Are you looking for a place to push yourself behind the wheel and see how your driving skills stack up? Dirtfish Rally School is that place. Located on 315 acres of pristine automotive playground at the foot of the Cascade Mountains in Snoqualmie, Washington, right outside of Seattle. Dirtfish Rally School is a one-of-a-kind place where everyone from first-time drivers to seasoned professionals like Bucky Lassick and Antoine Lestage can push themselves to their limit. Whether driving the high-performance rally-prepped all-wheel drive Subaru Impreza STI is what you're looking for, or you'd rather hang it all out in the rear-wheel drive Subaru BRZ, Dirtfish Rally School has something for everyone. Classes are available from 2 hours to 3 full days and feature instructors with over 150 years of combined racing experience. Whether you're looking to become the best and get an edge on the competition, or just looking to freshen your skills behind the wheel, Dirtfish Rally School is the place to go. For more information on registering for classes, visit Dirtfish on the web at dirtfish.com, or to check out the latest happenings from Dirtfish, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Dirtfish Rally.
Come to the island and rip it up this summer. Wakeboard Island. It's a skate park on water at Blue Water Resort and Casino. Check out the 2-tower cable system that pulls you and your board over the water. No boats to watch out for, no fumes. Wakeboard Island is open to all skill levels with an open center section for beginners, and for trick riders, a double side kicker in a 60-foot flat box. Wakeboard Island, the best ride this side of the Rockies. Adjacent to the River's Edge Cantina at Blue Water Resort and Casino on the Colorado River in Parker, Arizona.
Life is all about sound. The sound of sports. The sound at the racetrack. And the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Looking to upgrade the brake system on your race car, pre-runner, or weekend toy? J-Mar Performance Brake Systems has you covered. An industry leader in performance braking systems, J-Mar can outfit your vehicle with the highest quality American-made calipers, rotors, master cylinders, hubs, turning brakes, and shifters for Volkswagens to trophy trucks and everything in between. For more information and their full product line, visit J-Mar on the web at jmarperformance.com or follow them on Instagram and Twitter at J-Mar Brakes. All right, welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Coming in hot, we got Amy Hood, Ronnie Faisst here. What is happening?
What's going on?
Out here at Terracross.
Yeah, it's good. Good times had by all, and I got to tell you, man, it's been a while. This course is quite a change up from San Diego, man.
Yeah, definitely. I wasn't expecting the ruts.
Yeah,
it's pretty deep, huh? It gets deep out there, and the track changes from the time you see it during practice to the time you get out there and actually race.
It's really soft.
Yeah, it's super soft. It's fun.
Yeah, it's definitely soft. I mean, those ruts and everything else. It's funny, even lap to lap, like you'll go through a corner, go, oh, this is the one I need to hit next lap. You'll go through there, you'll be like, oh, that was a bad choice. I should have been the other one, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So let's talk a little bit about you. I know, obviously, you're out here doing some, some Terracross, but let's shake it back a little bit. I mean, a lot of us know you from X Games, freestyle motocross. I mean, how did you make the transition to four wheels?
I mean, I'm still riding and stuff. I'm just kind of getting to that point in life where I gotta kind of figure out what to do next. So I figured, I'm a dirt dude. I like dirt, and I've seen a couple moto guys, transfer like Deegan and Johnson and McGrath, kind of make the crossover to off-road and do well at short course. So I'm like, that's kind of where I started with the off-road stuff. Bought a Pro Light, went and started trying to race some regionals, and now ended up building a good Pro Light and racing the SR1 class at the regionals, racing a few of the nationals in the Pro Light, and then doing the whole Terracross series. So I'm kind of basically whatever opportunity I get on four wheels, I'm just trying to drive because I'm trying to learn how to drive four wheels.
Diversify.
I'm like, what's up with all these extra wheels, dude?
Yeah. No, I feel you. And it's Terracross stuff. Anytime you jump in the Razor, especially, you're talking short course and stuff like that and transition, and, you're used to backing stuff into corners with those. And these, man, you actually have to drive these cars. You got to be careful. You'll be ending up on your lid.
Yeah, these things tip real easy.
Yeah. So, how's the weekend been going for you so far?
I mean, all right. The car is still in one piece. We missed the first the first main in the LCQ, so got one more chance. Hopefully, make it through.
And you are still in one piece as well, because now I have adopted him as my co-driver.
Oh,
so.
yeah. We've been teamed up, so we're doing it. Which is kind of good. It's actually cool because I get to see the track before I go on it, so it like works out. I'm like, this is kind of
You feel like you're cheating, but you're not, right?
Get to see all the lines.
Yeah, you show up at Terra Crossing, and I'm just going to drive my car and everything else, and then all of a sudden you're riding co-dog with Amy Hood and our Razor, and you're like, whoa, what did I get myself into?
No,
right?
it's actually pretty fun. She actually rips it out there.
He helps me out a lot because he's like, go. And if you're not, you have to follow his Snapchat because he's like live snapping in the car the whole time during my race, and it's hilarious. And there's some cussing and some screaming and yelling and yipping, but it's hilarious.
It's good.
Yeah. Well, I know they had all the GoPros, in our car and positioned on me, and we come out and the guy looks to the GoPro after the thing. I'm like, yeah, you're going to have to edit. There was a couple times I threw some four-letter words in there, and the guy's like...
The whole time there was lots of cussing going on because you just get so amped up and excited, and I mean, obviously competitive, and especially when you're racing against a bunch of girls. Hair's flying.
I heard you throw the B word a couple times. I was dying.
A couple times? The whole time.
She gets all gangster and Hood, right? Yeah.
Hood starts getting Hood on us.
Oh, I got Hood on her. I did.
Hood rich.
Yeah, for sure. So what's up next for you, man? I know you're still doing...
Yeah. So we're going to finish here this weekend, and then next weekend we'll be in Vegas for the Lucas Oil in the Pro Light, and then the weekend after that we'll be in Charlotte for the last round of this, and then there's like a couple weeks off, and then there's one more round of Lucas at Elsinore that I'm going to race. Mm-hmm. So that kind of wraps up the year for me as far as four-wheel goes, and other than that, I just at home riding the track at the house, going to Paula, ripping up some track.
Yeah. You still enjoy being on a bike quite a bit?
I do. I love it. I'm actually more into, I still like to hit my ramp, but I really just enjoy riding, out in the hills or on a good prep motocross track. It's kind of the roots. That's where I started. Yeah. And then I kind of freestyle took off, and I made a living at that. But now I'm back to the roots of just riding the track and having fun. And this is kind of cool, too, because it gets me back to racing, with the short course and with Terra Cross, it's back to racing. That's where I started. So,
well, and I know Renner's a good friend of ours, and he's kind of the same way. He's kind of not hitting the ramp so much. He's just enjoying the free riding, and just kind of experiencing that. There's so long you put into your career where you're hitting ramps and have to innovate and and learn this trick. And now it's probably fun just to enjoy going out and being on a bike.
It is. I mean, I don't think you ever lose that as a rider. Just being on your bike, trail rides, hill rides, finding natural stuff. It's kind of where even freestyle came from, was out in the hills and stuff, And then we spent, like you said, all these years of just hours and hours of just hitting one single ramp over and over again. And then now it's good to get back to just riding,
Yeah. Well, talking about that, man, how have you seen FMX progress? I mean, some of the stuff these guys are pulling now is just, dude, it's crazy.
It's nuts. I'm kind of good. I was in it when I was in it. Because I'm like, dude, these guys...
You don't want to do a triple flip?
No, it's
totally seems safe.
It's sketchy. You got to be willing to risk it all in freestyle, It's a dangerous sport, and the top guys, it's something you have to work at. It's an everyday thing. You can't take time off and feel confident with your tricks. You have to do them every single day. And now the level of the tricks are at, it's gnarly. Them dudes have to push themselves to do some scary stuff.
Well, I'm looking at some of the stuff even X Fighters is throwing out with these wall rides and these big quarter pipes and 3-tiered arenas, and I mean it's just getting nutty, man.
Yeah. I know it's become stuff everything you thought you wouldn't see, people do, and you're like, man, what the? I wouldn't have thought you could have done that, and this dude drills it consistently, so it's nutty.
Well, it's funny because I remember, back when, Kerry was trying the first, backflip, and then Trav did the double, and that was unthinkable. I mean, Deegan when he did the first 360, and it was stuff unheard of, and now it's it's progressed so far beyond that. I mean, triple flips and variations off of those, and it's just...
Yeah, it's everything you've seen upright has been done in a flip as well. So
stuff that was in video games 10 years ago is being done now, right? So, man, I mean, how are these razors treating you, though? I mean, how has that transition been? I mean, jumping into short course and now coming and wheeling some razors, I mean,
I feel like I said, I want to drive everything with four wheels just to get seat time. But they all drive different. But it's I'm trying to set a goal to myself. I just want to be good at driving all of them. I got 3 different vehicles that I do drive, and they do all drive a little bit different. So I'm just man, I want to get good at this one, but it's like anything. You can't get good at something without doing it all the time. So it's just you got to put your time in. You got to start somewhere, and Unfortunately, it's in the back.
Well,
you just got to work your way up.
Yeah,
You just got to start back here and keep practicing. And
yeah, exactly.
inch
I
your
was
way
getting
to
a
the
little
front.
frustrated out there because, I want to go out there and do good.
And do good. I hate doing bad. I get mad at myself like, fuck,
I
he's
know.
sucking. Dude.
And you feel like the
Because you're used to
Joe.
being good. You're
Yeah.
like, dude, I'm used to being good, and now I suck. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I haven't sucked since I started.
Yeah.
Now I'm back to that. And they're like, all right, well, just got to stick with it. Suck it up.
Yeah.
Right.
I need to build myself a track in my backyard.
I know. I'm the same way. I'm like, I'm practicing. Give me one of these things so I can drive
Just
every
build
day.
a track. They will come.
Yeah. Well, I know that's, you're talking about guys being on their bike every day. It's like I come out here and I hadn't driven a Razor since Terracross in San Diego, and it's like coming out here and, these kids are, some of these kids are racing like 30, 40 weekends a year and Works and Lucas and Best in the Desert and all over the place, Terracross. And I'm like, man, it's almost like you got to have a practice track for Razors now, and be on point.
Yeah, you do.
You look at those kids like Guthrie that was running around out
Ripping.
there and he's just ripping. And it's like, wow,
It's confidence, seat time, practice, preparation. It's like anything. It's like anything I've ever done in life and got good at, I got good at by doing it every day. It's like if I don't do my tricks every day, they're rusty. If I don't practice martial arts every day, my katas, they're rusty. They're not smooth. And so it's like, why do you think driving would be any different? It's like you're not in your vehicle putting in the time. It's like, especially when you're new, like I expect to even compete with the dudes who got it wired.
And you miss practice, the day before, like I did.
Yeah.
It's funny because I saw Sarah and Shelby out there like scoping lines and just studying the track, and I'm over here like I just want to, keep her on four wheels and not end up on top. So it's funny because these girls here take it really seriously, and they are really experienced drivers, and they're really successful. So.
Yeah. Well, speaking of, you're talking about martial arts and stuff like that. I know you've got pretty heavy into that. It's. How's that been? I mean, keeping you fit, obviously. I mean, it's got to be, kind of a release too, right?
Yeah, I actually started in martial arts before I even rode. Like I started when I was 5, and then I trained all the way up until I was 10. And when I started picking up the motocross, I took off like a 4-year break, and then I went back when I was 14, and then trained until I moved to California, and then I took a 13-year break. So 5 years ago, I was like, I want to start training again. Started at a white belt. Started in a new school, worked my way up, got a black belt this past May. And it's just something that, like, I feel like in martial arts, it's like once you're in martial arts, you're always martial arts. It never really leaves you. And it's something that I missed for that long time. But now that I'm back in it, like, I love it. I enjoy it. I've been thinking about going to Okinawa in the off-season and training, like, at the main dojo, like, where Yamashita, our sensei, came from, under his sensei. And then eventually maybe someday even... Like, I love kids, so I was thinking maybe someday I'll open up my own dojo. But I want to go to where it comes from and take how they teach it, and then bring that over and bring that apart and make my school part of that.
Yeah.
But it's like I want to get farther up in rank before. So if I even open a dojo, I won't even be for like 4 years. At least would want to be a third dan. So that would take me 4 years to get there.
Getting your first black belt, I mean, that had to have been an accomplishment and pretty fulfilling, right?
Yeah, because actually when I left New Jersey, I had a brown belt, and I was supposed to test. And I skipped out of town and drove to California to be a motocross dude. And I never test, but I was like right there. So I was like a long time coming. Like I had a brown belt when I was, 17 probably, and I never got one until I was in my 30s.
Yeah. No interest in MMA. I mean, just pretty much sticking.
I like boxing and jiu-jitsu and all that stuff, but I mean, I feel like my body's too beat up. Like I'm too scared to. My knees are so bad. Like, I'm like, dude, someone...
You got motocross knees,
yeah,
right?
I'm like, dude, if someone hit me in the knee, it's over. So it's like, I just hit the mitts and, like, spar with friends and keep it fun and mellow. But I enjoy
fun fact of the day.
Yeah, but I do love it. I love it.
Yeah,
Big fan.
It's awesome. And it's funny, fun fact of the day, because I was scoping his Instagram and I saw that he was into martial arts. I have my black belt in Taekwondo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
nice.
My parents
Karate hottie.
Yeah. My parents kind of stuck me into it to, like, learn how to master my ADHD, because it was a lot of, patience and stuff.
Good.
But now, I started, I'm like, I don't even know if I like this. And I got really into it, and I just wanted to take it all the way.
Damn, don't mess with you guys in the car. Two black
right.
belts in there.
What
That's
up?
right. Wait, I didn't notice. See that? We might have to take that girl out.
Exactly. Yes, we will. We just get out of the razors and start a fight out on the track.
Yeah. All right. Well, I appreciate you taking the time, Ronnie. I know we got some more racing to go here.
Yeah.
Amy's got to jump in the car. You got to jump in there with her here in just a few minutes. But
Let's do this. We
we're
want a
rolling,
podium.
and
Team Kung Fu.
yeah, we'll have to get you back on air another time, my
All right,
friend.
for
Always
sure.
fun, buddy.
All right, brother.
All right. All right. Lots of fun. That interview obviously recorded yesterday up there at Hayday's North Branch, Minnesota. there when we were all up there for Terracross, and, always fun catching a Ronnie Faisst guy I've known of for a long time. Never really got to know him too much, really, until this weekend, known of him, but didn't really know him, and fun guy, very talented, multi-talented, obviously trying to make the transition to four wheels with Razors and short course now, but, he's, part of the Metal Militia, been around FMX for a long, long time, and, one of the guys that helped grow that sport to what it is today. So always cool to get to meet these guys that have helped innovate and grow things. And it's funny, and I kind of agree with him, man. He's like, I was glad I was in FMX when I was, because what they're doing now is just crazy, and I kind of agree, man. He's probably pretty lucky that, he's been there, done that when he did, because I don't know anybody that wants to go up against a triple flip right now. That's for sure. And I mean, these guys pulling doubles on the daily, it's just, wow. That's all I can say about sport of FMX. Got the point where, X Games, they didn't want best trick or any of that in there. Now they've got quarter pipe and speed and style. You know what I mean? They don't do the full-blown FMX and best trick because of the dangers associated with it. And you got to give props to Red Bull X Fighters for carrying that torch and still having a premier FMX series. And, man, they've innovated and grown. And, we can talk days about that. But, man, X Fighters is just on point and over the top with these course builds they're doing, for sure. But Ronnie Faisst, good people, and lots of fun talking with him and Amy. Obviously, he's not only co-host here, but a good friend of mine, and it's cool to have Ronnie in the car with her in our car, and lots of fun stories coming to that, and it's just funny they were talking about women's racing and black belts in the car and beating people up. It's all tongue-in-cheek humor, but it's funny though. You talk about the women's racing and stuff, man. They do battle just as much as the men do. You can watch this TV show on CBS Sports and go, man, these girls like to bang doors, and that's for sure. There's one point I think Jolene got just literally punted and knocked up on her side. And, these girls, they do battle in Terracross, that's for sure. Definitely worth watching. Ronnie Faisst, always fun. And this dude, I mean, with his martial arts background and stuff like that, it's the guy's pretty solid, multi-talented for sure. So, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, Amy Hood, she is going to be calling in, and then we're going to have Paul Thacker calling in as well. Man, lots more to come on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. And, I got to tell you, Thacker, Hood, it's going to be an entertaining interview, so you want to hang tight. You got any questions for Paul Thacker? First guy to ever jump 300 feet on a snowmobile. You definitely want to shoot him over at Jim Beaver 15. Hit me up, and got any questions for Amy Hood? Want to know about her first experience in Terracross? Hit me up there. Hit her up at Amy Hood 71. Either one of them works, but looking forward to the questions. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, Amy Hood's going to be calling in. We'll have Paul Thacker calling in, and lots more to come as we wind down this edition of the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it, so when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of Razor vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a Razor 170 like me, take the entire family out in a Razor XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new Razor XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris Razor. Check out the full Polaris Razor lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Baja, check. King of the Hammers, check. Crandon, check. The Mint 400, check. Only one wheel company can say they have dominated the deserts and rocks of the Southwest to the mud and carnage of the big house at Crandon, and that company is KMC Wheels. KMC Wheels has won them all with the help of elite drivers like Travis Pastrana, Ricky Johnson, Bryce Menzies, Carl Renazetter, and Lauren Healy, who all rely on the XD Series from KMC Wheels to get them to the finish line and on top of the podium. Check out KMC Wheels and their full line of XD Series wheels at kmcwheels.com or on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KMC Wheels. KMC Wheels, like no other. Are you looking for a place to push yourself behind the wheel and see how your driving skills stack up? Dirtfish Rally School is that place. Located on 315 acres of pristine automotive playground at the foot of the Cascade Mountains in Snoqualmie, Washington, right outside of Seattle, Dirtfish Rally School is a one-of-a-kind place where everyone from first-time drivers to seasoned professionals like Bucky Lassick and Antoine Lestage can push themselves to their limit. Whether driving the high-performance, rally-prepped all-wheel drive Subaru Impreza STI is what you're looking for, or you'd rather hang it all out in the rear-wheel drive Subaru BRZ, Dirtfish Rally School has something for everyone. Classes are available from 2 hours to 3 full days and feature instructors with over 150 years of combined racing experience. Whether you're looking to become the best and get an edge on the competition, or just looking to freshen your skills behind the wheel, Dirtfish Rally School is the place to go. For more information on registering for classes, visit Dirtfish on the web at dirtfish.com, or to check out the latest happenings from Dirtfish, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Dirtfish Rally.
Rigid Industries is the original and #1 LED light bar manufacturer in the world. Torture tested by some of the best drivers in motorsports. Rigid LED lighting products use cutting-edge technology and can stand up to the harshest conditions Mother Nature can dish out. Designed, engineered, and assembled in the United States, Rigid LED lighting is the only choice for your off-road vehicle or boat. Find out more information on the entire line of Rigid Industries LED lighting products at www.rigidindustries.com.
Come to the island and rip it up this summer. Wakeboard Island. It's a skate park on water at Blue Water Resort and Casino. Check out the 2-tower cable system that pulls you and your board over the water. No boats to watch out for, no fumes. Wakeboard Island is open to all skill levels with an open center section for beginners. And for trick riders, a double side kicker in a 60-foot flat box. Wakeboard Island, the best ride this side of the Rockies. Adjacent to the River's Edge Cantina at Blue Water Resort and Casino on the Colorado River in Parker, Arizona.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'm your host, Jim Beaver. Another Monday morning, and man, we are rocking and rolling here. UTV Wolfpack, Ronnie Faisst talking video games, Mad Max, MMA, martial arts, Terracross. Man, we've just about covered all our bases, thrown in some rally, some WRC, some rallycross from LA. Man, and things are just cranking here in just a minute or two. We're going to have Amy Hood calling into the show. We're going to be catching up with my partner in crime each and every week, see what's happening up there in Winnipeg. She was hanging out with me at Terracross at Heydays most of the weekend, and, lots of fun. Her first time in a Razor actually racing and doing a solid job there. And, and we're also going to have Paul Thacker, who was on ground up there in Minnesota. Snowmobile legend Paul Thacker, he's going to be calling in, and we're going to be talking what's going on with him and some of the projects he's working on, and Paul always got some cool stuff in the works. So, going to be a great way to cap off yet another Down and Dirty radio show powered by Polaris Razor. And as always, you ever got any questions you want to guest? You got any ideas? Whatever, hit us up. Amy and I love tweets. We love getting info like that shot over, and love your feedback. So always hit us up. Instagram works as well, and be sure and give us both of all at JimBeaver15 at AmyHood71. Love talking with the fans, and love meeting you when we were out at events. That's for sure. So definitely always. Always swing by, say hey, and let us know when you're listening. Like to know people actually listen to us. We're not rambling, just talking to dead air. We see the numbers, but it's always been surreal to me. You see the numbers every week and the ratings, and great. But it's like real. It sets in when somebody actually comes up to you and says, "Hey, I heard that and I agree with you," or something like that. It's, to me, that's where it really sets in. It's like, oh man, people do listen to us. I'm not just talking into a mic, and it's just not going into outer space. There's actually people listening. So it's just one of those things, kind of surreal to me. But right now, my partner in crime, Amy Hood, she is calling in. I'm going to cue that music, and we're going to.
Now, where the hood at? You better bust that if you don't blow that. Where the hood at?
What up, Amy Hood?
Hey, how's it going? Long time no talk.
Yeah, I know. Geez, what was it? Yesterday evening was the last time you talked? My gosh, it's been forever.
Yeah, like 9 hours.
Yeah, exactly. So, no, we were just talking. It was funny. I was rambling like I tend to do on this show, but talking about listeners, and said you and I both love getting feedback. And I said, to me, the best feedback is, I said, I see the ratings, and I share them with you once in a while. I guess I ought to do that more often. Just chalk that up on my to-do list, I guess. But no, I was saying, I see the numbers. I know people are listening, but to me, it's like I still sometimes feel like I'm talking to thin air. And then somebody walks up to you or tweets you or something and says, "Hey, I loved hearing that. Like, I agree with you," or something. It's like, oh, people really are listening to what I'm saying. I don't know how you feel about that.
Yeah, and I had that today, too, actually, on one of my pictures. A mom from one of the little girls who races here actually commented that she really liked my conversation about the races being canceled. And she totally agrees that this is dirt bikes and we should totally race in the mud. And the weekend was actually still nice, but it was really cool and humbling that she, was listening in. And I just love her little daughter, Paige. She's like the future star of women's motocross. Like, the little girl has no fear. She is such a cool little chick and can hold it wide open. And it's just cool that they're listening, and I really appreciate it. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's talk. I know we got Paul Thacker calling in a few minutes. It's going to be fun to have Paul finally on air. Seriously, I've been doing this for like 4 years now. You've been doing it almost a year with me, and I've never had Paul Thacker on air. So Paul Thacker, in the flesh, is going to be calling into the show. I'm pretty pumped about that. Paul, first guy to ever jump
that's awesome.
First guy to ever jump a snowmobile over 300 feet. Wasn't Levi LaValle, it was Paul Thacker.
Yeah, no, for sure. The guy is a really cool character. I had the opportunity to meet him for the first time, and we have like that instant connection of like two people who just like to do rad stuff, and we hit it off. And now we're actually planning a trip that I got to get my butt up to Alaska, and Alaska is like pretty much like the American state of Canada. I like to say, like, it's basically Canada. I mean, if you're from Alaska, you live way more of the Canadian lifestyle than you ever will an American lifestyle. So, but yeah, he likes to fish and likes to do all the outdoor things, and it's like totally up my alley. So, either he has to come to Winnipeg or I got to go to Alaska.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna kick it old school.
I've been up to Alaska, I think, half a dozen times. Absolutely love it.
Really?
I could move there in a heartbeat, which I guess means I could probably move to Canada in a heartbeat, right? No, I absolutely love Alaska. Love fishing.
I love it. I watched it. It sounds really lame, but I watched. I love Kesha. Okay, she's like one of my favorite artists. But she had this reality TV show on MTV called My Crazy Beautiful Life, and she actually went up to Alaska and was trying to meet like a man, like a big bearded woodsy man. Oh my gosh, it was so funny. But no, just like where she was in Alaska was so beautiful and amazing, and I just got this love for Alaska from watching that stupid show.
Yeah.
So.
No,
Don't judge me.
Yeah, no, I don't judge you, man. I love Alaska. So you're preaching the choir here. Like, yeah, fishing and snowmobiling with Paul Thacker. Shoot, I'm in.
I know. You should come with us.
Yeah, for sure. So Paul's going to call in. We're going to have all these travel plans already set up, right? Sorry, Paul, but we're invading your place up there, buddy.
Yeah.
So, no, take me through it. First time racing a Razor. I know, you had a little bit of seat time up at Levi's, though. Give me the lowdown. How was it?
A little bit of seat time did not prepare me for what I was walking into on Saturday. So for those of you who don't know or don't follow me on social media, get on it. But I missed practice day.
Yeah.
So,
hold on one second, Amy. I'm going to cut you off. Because Paul Thacker just joined us. We were talking about him.
Oh, what's that?
So we'll join Paul Thacker into the this conversation. Paul Thacker, snowmobile legend as far as I'm concerned. Now TV personality. How's everything going, my friend?
Pretty good, man. I'm a little bit sore today, but all things said, it's nice to have a little downtime today.
Yeah. Well, I got to tell you, buddy, you hit a home run this morning on Instagram. Anybody that knows me knows that, like, a lot of guys, like, they're scared to give Amy Hood crap, right? Like, I give her endless amounts of crap all the time because I can. You have just joined the club where you're not scared to give Amy Hood crap. Your post was so spot on. I was like, Paul, I love you.
I don't think he was giving me crap. You cannot complain about a Moto Butt Monday.
Well, I think he was poking a little fun. I mean, it was all in fun, but
I like to have a little mystery. You never really know. I gotta keep you guessing.
Yeah, right. So take us through the weekend, Paul. I know you said you were a little sore. I was excited to see you back behind the wheel of something out there. I mean, kind of take us through this. I mean, we got a lot to talk about in this 30-minute segment, but I know you had a Razor out there, custom hand controls by Holes, and it looked like an amazing kit they put together. I mean, how was it to wheel that thing?
Yeah, I mean, the Polaris mechanics and the boys did a great job putting those Holes hand controls in, and it's kind of different than what you're used to. Usually it's a push-pull kind of system that you would have in, say, your van, which I've got a pre-candy van. Wait, can I say that? Just kidding.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it's actually it's like an aluminum steering wheel behind the steering wheel, and you pull it for gas, and then I've got my Ken Block Gymkhana style brake on a big stick basically next to me. So it definitely took a little getting used to, and there'll be some refining, but it was fun to get out there and burn some laps and it I mean, I was stoked with the what we put together, and I'm really looking forward to some more seat time.
Yeah. Well, here's a question for you: the gap jump. How was it hitting a gap jump? I mean, has it been a while since you've hit a gap?
And no, I mean, on something with four wheels, it's been a while,
yeah.
But I don't really. I mean, we never build anything in the mountains that isn't really a gap jump. Yeah. So they always look scarier when you're down or on the side looking at them, but they jump pretty much just like a regular jump as long as you don't go slow.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I almost turned down my opportunity to race this weekend because I looked at that gap jump and I looked at Jim and I said, no effing way am I going to be able to do that. My balls inverted and I totally pulled on full girl mode and I was freaking out because I just had like half an hour experience ever being in a Razor before in my life and showing up to this race and having this jump that was like 10 times bigger than the little one at Levi's house that took me about all day to jump in the first place. So I didn't even think I was going to be able to do it. So I was freaking out.
That's no joke.
At me, he's like, are you all right? I'm like, are you going to be okay?
She walks up to me and like looking for a hug with a tear in her eye, and I'm like, I felt bad, and I'm like, no, I'm like, seriously, it'll be okay. And she hit it once, and she comes back, she's like, all right, let's go.
Oh yeah, I was so excited when I hit it. I was just freaking out.
It's so funny how every gap jump I can ever remember hitting, even from as a little kid. You know, the 40-foot one we pushed up with shovels and a tractor in my yard for the first time, and took me 3 days to hit it. And then you hit it, and you're like, man, that wasn't nearly as cool.
That was so easy. Yeah, exactly.
So, well, take us behind the scenes of this. I know this was kind of a demo run for you, kind of testing out the new car. I know you and Terracross and Monster Energy, you guys have a lot of stuff working for possibly next year on getting a few of these adaptive cars actually fielding some in Terracross, right?
Yeah, we actually, this weekend was the first weekend we were able to put the Hero class together. For the past 3 years, I've been, as Terracross has grown, at first it was a little tough to pitch the idea, but now that they're, established and there isn't many people in motor or in action sports that don't know what Terracross is at this point, so it was a little easier to get some support. And Monster Energy and Polaris both got fully behind us for this in the next event, and we got to bring out some of our PTSD suffering wounded veterans, and they had an absolute blast. They got to drive their own buggies on the track, and we got to do a little racing. And man, it was. I've been extremely fortunate to have been around the world and done some pretty cool stuff. But yeah, it doesn't get much more rewarding than to see the smiles on those guys' faces this week. And it was really, really cool. And I can't wait. We're going to put some video pieces together, and a lot of media will be coming out here in the next week. So I can't wait for everybody to get to check it out, because it was one of the most fun times I've probably ever had.
Yeah, those guys, I know, they were amped, before, and we're sitting there in the driver's meeting, and those guys just ear-to-ear grins, knowing what was going to happen. Was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was amazing. Those guys kept thanking, us over and over again. We're like, man, no, thank you, guys. What we're doing here is trivial compared to what you guys are doing for us. So it was couldn't have been a better group. Super humble, great family atmosphere. They all brought their spouses. It was really a good time.
Yeah, for sure. So talking about that, though, what's been keeping you busy? I know obviously you're doing some TV with Terracross, CBS Sports. You're still a brand ambassador for a lot of companies. What's a typical month look like for Paul Thacker?
Well, actually, until this month, I've actually, for the first time in a long time, been able to enjoy. We had an epic weather summer in Alaska. We had just day after day of 80 plus degrees in Bluebird. So I was able to actually have some legitimate downtime and enjoy that for a change, which is pretty not the norm. But now, as we head into sled season, finish up Terracross, and we'll have snowcross events, Winter X Games coming up. All that stuff's going to be here before you know it. And so a typical month, I'm home probably a week out of it. Other than that, I'm off gallivanting around the country trying to figure out how to make a dollar without getting a real job.
Yeah, I understand it. What is it? I think Jason Ellis nailed it. He told me this. He's like, we're one of the fortunate few, and you're included in that. And I can name quite a few others, but we all have no jobs, right? That's what he says.
Right, the no job.
Yeah,
like it.
And people don't understand. To have a no job, it's quite a grind.
Well, it's not your typical 9 to 5. It's like it's from the time you open your eyes to the time you close your eyes. That's kind of how I tell people. Everyone's like, oh, you just YOLO it up all over the place. I'm like, yeah, not exactly. You are on 24/7, so.
Yeah. Everybody thinks you live the rock star life, but there's a whole lot of work that goes behind being able to do the stuff that people actually get to see. So, there's no, just like you said, Amy, there's no off button. Yeah. There's no hours to call my office. It's pretty much whenever, however, wherever. So. Yep. Yeah,
but I like it that way. That's how kind of people like us operate. Like, we're always, wide open on a track and wide open in the real life too. So that's just, why people like us can just make it work, I think,
Yeah. So got to ask you, man, you had a heck of a rig there at Heyday. So you actually wheeling that thing from Alaska down here, or does that thing stay parked in Minnesota most of the year?
Wow, that's the question of the day.
I asked that earlier.
It's been up and down the Alcan 4 times.
Wow.
I've had it for 5 years, and basically it will stay down. It came from Alaska last week, so I was not in it at the time, but it did meander down the Alaska Canadian Highway. So it'll stay down here through till April, because I'll use it got some other events, some other Wounded Warrior stuff coming up, obviously X Games and some various things that we'll utilize it for. And then it'll go back to Alaska, where we usually spend a couple months of spring backcountry filming and some other events that happen locally in Alaska that I like to be a part of. And then actually I give it to my parents for the summer. And my dad does some stuff with commercial fishing, so he cruises around and lives in it. And basically it's a great program because, you know, he helps me pay for the insurance.
Yeah. Nice.
So no, it'll stay down here, but it does go to Alaska.
Yeah. During the wintertime, how often are you on the sled?
Technically we'll start as soon as there's enough snow to build a snowcross track, which will be around Thanksgiving. And then, so probably for the most part, all of December, try and head out to Colorado for a couple weeks or 10 days or so before X Games and train at altitude out there, and then we'll race. And X Games is, I mean, it's our Super Bowl for anything snowmobile related. So
yeah,
pretty much try to take it as serious as possible without losing your mind. Because I do all of the on-site color announcing for ESPN for the sled event, so it's a pretty busy week for me.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I got to ask you, man. You know, talking about that, and in X Games, and we were talking with Ronnie when Amy and I interviewed him over the weekend. We aired it, the segment before you came on. But he was talking about FMX, and he's like, to be honest with you, I'm glad I did it when I did. He's like, because I don't want to have to do the tricks these guys are doing now. And talking about the progression of things. I mean, do you feel the same way about the snowmobile side? I mean, seeing what Levi did on the distance jump and what these guys are doing freestyle wise on sleds now is just absolutely insane.
Yeah, I mean it's all kind of relative. I think that we were saying the same stuff. People were saying the same stuff when we were doing it. It's not. I mean, it's gnarly. It's gnarly. But I think when you're in the heat of it, it's you're at your peak. You're on your game, so you don't see it the same way once people that have stepped back or don't know anything about the sport do. So do I think it's any gnarlier now than it was, when Ronnie Faisst was in his heyday, 5 years ago, which isn't really very long. I don't necessarily think it's any gnarlier. I mean, unfortunately, injuries are part of it, and I don't really see any guys getting more hurt now than then. It's all, it's about the same across the board, but they are definitely inventing and progressing. It's pretty fun to watch, especially moto, the guys doing the BMX style tricks. That's just, that's cool stuff. And I think that to me looks less dangerous, but with way more style. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
Then say a double backflip, Cam Sinclair style. Those are scary as shit.
Yeah.
Can you beep that out? Sorry.
Yeah, no, we'll get it beeped out, buddy. Don't worry about it. No, we're live online now. Before it goes into AMF, and we'll get. We got some editors that definitely get that stuff bleeped out. So stuff gets thrown around from time to time on the show. So everybody knows that.
I'm constantly holding my tongue.
Yeah. Go figure, right?
Big surprise.
Yeah, but no. Seriously though, I mean, what do you think's next for for freestyle snowmobiling? I mean, it's kind of I know with there was some injuries there, and we don't need to get into that, but I mean, it kind of took a step back. But I mean, it looks like in FMX, they've gone to more of the wall rides and the quarter pipes and stuff like that. I mean, what do you think the next logical evolution is for for freestyle snowmobiles?
Well, I think we really only have one big competition, which is X Games. Yeah. Moto has several different venues and avenues for that. But I would like to see some of the same features that you see on the motocross. I mean, the half pipe stuff, we can do that on sleds. We can get creative with that stuff if we know what's coming and how to be able to replicate what's going to be on a course. That stuff can. I mean, we've been doing re-entries and 3/4 flips and crazy stuff like that forever in the backcountry.
Yeah.
And there's never been any course that could facilitate that. I think that would be pretty fun. Just for starters, I think you get to see some of the maybe less talented trick upside down guys being able to compete more so because they've got such style on the on the features that can be built that on a freestyle course. So yeah, I mean, are we going to see, crazy bike flips and stuff on a sled? Maybe, I don't know, but I think there's some other stuff to be done before that stuff happens.
Yeah, well, to be honest with you, I know, and Amy and I have talked about this. I'm more of a fan of the backcountry stuff, almost like what ESPN did with the Real Moto, where the Renner just won with the real kind of natural riding, and to me,
they need to do a backcountry.
Yeah, like a backcountry, something for X Games. I mean, I would love to see something like that.
I think that's a great idea. I would, and they better sign me up because they wouldn't let me do long jump last year, so they better let me do my thing in the backcountry. No, but I totally agree, man. I thought that was a great concept, and it would be cool if they transitioned that to the snow.
Yeah. So
yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to put you on the spot on this one. I know Tucker Hibbert obviously is a Monster Energy guy along with you, but anybody got anything in the tank for him this year in snowcross?
Definitely. For sure. I mean, I think you've seen it the last couple of years. Guys are creeping up on him. He's not, running the gauntlet like he has in the past. And I mean, not to take anything away from Tucker, because he's an incredible athlete, and he is as good as he is because he trains that much more than everyone else. It's impressive, his program. You add that with some of the the best mechanical minds in the sport, and some pretty good iron that he's on, and he's a tough guy to beat. But there's definitely, like Cody Cam, he's an up-and-comer. He's another monster guy on Polaris, and he's a ripper. His teammate Robert is fast. I mean, those guys are do they have anything for him at X Games? It seems to be when Tucker really cranks it up a notch.
Yeah.
But maybe. I mean, there are guys that are talented enough on good enough machinery to give him a run for his money.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and I know even, Levi, I know they've, knowing Levi how I do, and, man, they've been hard at work all summer long, and I know, Kyle is amped for this season, to try and put together a run. He had some pretty good finishes towards the end of last year, and, I think you guys are definitely gunning for Tucker this year for sure.
Yeah, and it's I mean, he's fast. Kyle Clean, he's and you're not going to meet a nicer kid. I don't think he ever stops smiling. He's embracing and living the dream for sure. So, yeah, no, Levi's got a very talented group of guys in it running out of his camp. So they're kind of sprinkled all over in there. I know Leighton Motorsports Group has some fast kids too. So it's I mean, and Tucker's. I mean, I imagine he can probably race and win races as long as he wants to, but I wonder how long he wants to. You know what I mean? So, but until that's probably going to be a decision that he's going to make. I don't think anybody's going to make that for him because they're out there dominating Tucker Hibbert.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy because there's a guy who's, comes from a snow background, but he still has this talent to be able to show up to an outdoor pro motocross national and finish inside the top 20. Like, the man is an animal. He's just a really, really talented athlete to be able to do something like that.
Yeah, well, that's I mentioned Cody Cam. He was just outside the top 20 at Millville this year, and that was the only national he raced because he's local.
Really?
So he's I think it was like a 22-23 finish for 25th overall or something like that. I don't remember exactly, but so he's very similar in that department. He's multi-talented, wicked fast on a dirt bike and a sled. So I would say if you're going to watch for a guy to push Tucker this year, that would be him.
Nice. So what's up next for you? Obviously, I know we've got another round of Terracross here in about a week and a half in Charlotte, but past that, what's up next for Paul Thacker?
Well, I've got a couple little things going on in October, and then obviously Monster Cup. Which, if you're not at Monster Cup, you must be doing something wrong with your life because it's pretty good time.
Yeah,
I know.
And then I have to look at my schedule and have it in front of me. I know I've got a list of things to do, but off the top of my head, I can't really do. I've got stuff going on every month of some sort, week to week. But things get really crazy starting in November, and we'll be crazy until I put my sled away and don't ever want to see it again in May.
Yeah. Yeah, you get burned out at the end of snow season where you're just like, I need a break, or it's pretty much, you think you could, do you need that summer break, or could you just full on 12 months a year if you wanted to?
No way. I definitely need it.
Yeah.
I mean, I spent
Really? No way.
I to be off this. Well, yeah, but you ride a dirt bike. It's sunny and warm and nice all the time if you want.
Okay, I'll give you that one. But our season is so short. I just do not get enough time in it. And I mean, obviously the snow season is pretty short as well for you guys. So
you might be careful what you wish for. If you go year round, you might not like it so much.
I don't know about that. I'm kind of a diehard.
No, it doesn't last very long. It lasts maybe a week or two, and then you're like, I sure wouldn't mind being in the mountains again. But yeah, you spend 100 plus days on a snowmobile in the wintertime. That's a lot.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot. A lot of seat time or handlebar time, I guess.
Yeah. So your body needs a break, your mind needs a break, and I want to go to the lake and go fishing.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually it comes down to the point where it's like my body needs a break. It's like, okay, I'm over feeling like a 75-year-old man when I wake up in the morning, and I just want to go lie on the beach. But then that's over in about a week, and I want to go back riding. So I can't never take a break too long, or I go insane.
Yeah. So, speaking of fishing spots, we were talking about fishing in Alaska before you called in. So you got some pretty good honey holes up there?
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't even like to fish.
You don't like to fish, huh?
I'm kidding. Yeah, we've got some pretty good spots. I love the Kenai River is one of a world-renowned record fishery, size-wise for every species that lives in it. And I love to go fall and spring and do rainbow fishing down there, and you catch, 30-inch rainbows if you're doing it right, that's a big rainbow trout, and that's my favorite. It's a lot of fun. So, but yeah, we got a few spots. Yeah, can't really tell you. I'd have to kill you. But
yeah,
they're definitely there.
There's nothing like fishing in Alaska. I think I've been up there 6 or 8 times fishing, and every time I go up there, it's just so much fun. It spoils you, to be honest with you. I've got literally a river, couple 100 yards from where I live, and fishing is not fun. To me, Alaska is fun for fishing.
Yeah.
So
it's definitely a unique place, man. It's cool. It's been my home, and it's logistically a nightmare to travel from, but I just can't leave it.
Yeah. Well, and I know I've got an uncle that lived up in Alaska until he passed away, and that was his deal. His entire family was in Arizona, and he's just like, I love Alaska. I'm not leaving. And that was just, I get it, man. It's just beautiful up there. So you got anything before we let Paul go, Amy?
No, I just want to go up to Alaska because I've never been, so I can share this beautiful experience with anybody, and I'm not happy about it.
Alaska
gets... Well, now you know somebody, so what's your excuse?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if you get a knock on your door, just I'll put your tent in the backyard. Don't worry about me.
Don't call the police.
Yeah.
No. Just a random girl in the tent in my yard.
If there's a tent and a dirt bike out in your back, you know who it is, right?
If I had $1 for every time that oh wait.
Yeah.
No. I have no $.
Yeah. Don't quit your day job yet, right?
Yeah.
All right, Paul.
Guys. Well, hey, I appreciate you having me on the show. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, no, lots of fun. Thank you, my friend. We'll see you in Charlotte in about a week and a half.
Sounds good.
All right, take it easy, Paul.
Ciao.
All right. That was Paul Thacker, and how's always fun catching up with Paul. Just talk about a guy that's I guess sporting the no job lifestyle, but just a cool guy that's been around and done so much and seen so much.
For sure. And it's funny because a lot of people are always like, "Oh, you're from Canada, you must snowmobile and blah blah blah." And it's like, well, I'm from the prairies, and it gets to minus 50 degrees. There's not much stuff you want to do outside, and just like I said earlier, I spend my life on 2 wheels, so I'm not really invested much into the snowmobile world. I've actually never been to Winter X Games, and I'm kind of bummed about it because it just looks so cool, and it's gotten so big and it's expanded, and I really want to try to make it down this year, or this season, I guess, and actually check out Winter X Games for the first time. And now I'll know somebody. So
yeah,
and Levi and Cody Cam and a bunch of people. So I just kind of never really followed snowcross. And there used to be a snowcross series in Canada, and then as soon as they kind of got rid of it and it just stuck around in the States, I lost interest a bit. But now I might check it out a little bit more.
I've never been to Winter X Games either myself, and I happen to know the snowmobile promoter and organizer for Winter X Games. So I'm thinking maybe we ought to do a remote show or 2 or 3 or something, man. That would be something kind of fun, don't you think?
Yeah, no, I definitely want to check it out as long as I have a giant parka and some boots and a hat and a hot chocolate, because I am not your typical snow bunny. I just don't like the cold. I don't like it.
Except for when you're ice riding?
Yeah, I'm bundled up though, and then you're actually doing something, so you're sweating and you don't even notice it. But when you're spectating in the cold, I don't know, man, it's just not my cup of tea. I'd rather be doing something. I feel like if I were to go to Winter X Games, someone please give me a sled, I'd like to race it. I'll totally show up and race in the women's class. I have no problem with that.
Yeah. Snowmobiles are such a different animal for me. Every time I get on one, it's I have so much fun riding them, but it's so different than cornering a bike. I mean, they're just so hard to turn.
Stop being a 100-pound girl and trying to steer those things. I mean, I'm putting all my weight and just trying to dive into these corners and stuff, and I could barely turn the handlebars.
Yeah. Well, I learned a lot when I went up and hosted that Ultimate Snowmobiler this year, because they gave me a brand new Polaris sled and said, go have fun on the mountain. And here I'm in the back country, you know what I mean? This Arizona kid, only my 5th time on a snowmobile, no idea what I'm doing. And I'm getting into this deep powder. I mean, this deep virgin powder, and I'm just I'd watch the hill cross guys, and I mean, they're literally moving their whole body and standing on one side of the sled to get it to turn. And I'm okay, I get it. I see why they're doing that now. There's this Arizona kid having a trial by fire because I'm stuck out there in the wilderness if I didn't get the thing unstuck, It's
not a little person sport. Well, then again, I can't even say that because look at Levi. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. It's just not my thing. I am very much stuck on 2 wheels. That's my calling. That's what I'm good at. That's what I've kind of devoted all my time to. I could totally try anything and I'd be all right, but I'm very competitive. And who was it? Actually, it was me and Ronnie. We were talking about it. I was like, dude, I just want to go get on my dirt bike right now. I'm sick of sucking. We were both saying we're so competitive, and we always like to do good and win, and then here we are, show up to Thacker, and we're at the back of the pack because we have no experience. And
I get
the
it.
Girls are, such experts in their sport. I mean, Sarah and Shelby, they both race the Lucas Oil Series, and Shelby does works, and they're very, very experienced drivers, and they're so skilled and talented, and I just felt like a goon out there, and I just wish I had a little bit more seat time because, like I said, I'm competitive, so I want to show up and be battling for first place, not last place, all alone.
No, I get you.
Room for improvement.
Yeah, that was me. I didn't crash the thing, so it was but it's totally I'm used to racing trophy trucks and knowing you give me a 400-mile race, and at the end I'm going to be in the top 10 out of 50 guys. This is something completely different. I didn't get last in one of my heats, and I'm all right, it's a win.
Yeah, I know, for sure. I was just happy I could keep it on 4 wheels there. And like I said, I was so happy that I was just able to do that over-under jump. And it was actually very, very easy. It's more of a mind. It trips you out when you look at it. It's huge, and you're jumping over another lane. So you can't mess up or you're going to land on somebody. Yeah. But the coolest thing that Ronnie and I were both talking about is, let's go back next year and dominate. There's room for improvement. I felt like I rode, or I guess it's not riding, it's driving. I felt like I drove good for the amount of experience I had, which was half an hour on a backyard track, which was very, very different than, kind of what we showed up to. So I think I could stand a chance if I got a little bit more time. So maybe next year I'm going to come back and dominate. Sarah, it's on.
Well, and yeah. Well, and that's the thing. I mean, it was, I know you and I both have 2-year deals to do this Terracross thing. And me, it's like, all right, I'm going to go in the first year. I'm going to learn. I've been picking Dana Creech's brain like crazy. He said he'd come out to Arizona. He would build me a full-blown Terracross track to practice on. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I'm going to learn and do as good as I can the first year. And then year number 2, it's podium time. It's game on,
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, from Levi's to this track, Levi's is, again, like a backyard track, so everything was a lot smaller, which is fine. I mean, the obstacles weren't a problem. It was the terrain. So Levi's track was very flat, kind of hard packed, and this track was so soft, and there was extremely, deep ruts and very, very soft corners. So, without having the experience driving these racers, you don't really know how much you can give and then how much you can't give. In moto, you're just, you're used to coming in the corner, third gear wide open and, slamming it, railing it, but these things are so picky, and you need a little bit of finesse when you're on the gas, and you really need to learn how to drive these and how to maneuver them and feel them out. And I just tried to go balls to the wall and ended up rolling over twice. So I just tried to take it easy and just make it to the main event, which I did. And finishing 4th, I'm happy with it. I don't care. I survived. I had a blast, and I just had a great weekend. So all in all, I'm leaving with a win. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. You're in one piece.
And I got another round. Come on. I didn't win, so now I at least can do better than 4th place. So that's what I see it. It's a stepping stone. Come on.
Yeah, podium time in Charlotte, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. All right. Well, I think you did solid. Lots of fun, as always, hanging out and seeing you and, throwing it down. And we'll do it again next Monday.
Sounds awesome. Well, this is actually my last motocross race weekend of the season for me. It's very, very bittersweet. Like I said, this weekend I had to miss kind of my championship defending doubleheader weekend. So I went into this weekend with, winning the championship for my local Manitoba series, but I missed 2 rounds, and that's a lot of points to miss out in. So I don't think I'll be able to salvage the championship. So at least if I can go out this weekend with a bang and win both motos, and I'd really like to actually place top 5 in 250B class. It's one of my favorite tracks. So, yeah, just got to kill this weekend, go out with a bang, and have a good one.
Awesome. Well, good luck, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you. Okay, bye, guys.
All right.
See you later.
See you, Amy. All right, that was Amy Hood. We're going to wrap things up here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show. We've got upcoming events, GRC, some Terracross from Charlotte, Lucas from Vegas going on this weekend. We got the Rigid Desert Challenge, Stadium Super Truck, Sand Sports Super Show, Motocross GP out there in Glen Helen. Big shout-out to Polaris Razor, General Tire, Rigid, Dirtfish, UPR.com, Blue Water Casino, JMR Brakes, KMC Wheels, Parker Motor Company, Gibson Exhaust, MTX Audio, and Intense Tees. Also got to thank Paul, Thacker, Ronnie, Faisst, UTV, Wolfpack, and Rockstar Energy for that segment, as well as Amy Hood. Give me a follow at JimBeaver15, at Amy Hood, at Amy Hood71. Be sure and download our app, available on Apple, iTunes, Google Play, and the Amazon Kindle store. And as always, back episodes at downanddirtyshow.com. And man, we will see you guys next week with more Down and Dirty Radio Show powered by Polaris Razor. Game on.